crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. In today's Brother Scan and Cut tips and tricks video, I'm going to show you how to cut out patterned paper using your CM350 or ScanNCut 2. The patterned paper we're cutting out is called The Night Before Christmas. And I'm going to show you most of the patterns. I've used a lot of them, but I'm going to show you most of the patterns right now. And then later, while it's cutting, I'll show you some coordinating products from our holiday catalog by Stampin Up. Okay, now I'm just going through these quickly because, okay, I need this one. I definitely need to find this one. This is the one we're cutting out. And I'll explain what mode we're using. We're going to cut out the candy canes for this tutorial. All right, so in our pack of Night Before Christmas Designer Series paper, you get 48 sheets. You get 4 of each sheet, but they're double-sided, see? So then that means you get 4 of this design. Especially great, some of those make great card backgrounds. So this wasn't even all of them. But yesterday I did a video tutorial on this SDX 125 and how to cut out this paper, and the video was so popular. I couldn't believe the number of comments and the people asking me for other examples, and so I decided to do it with the CM350 for my crafty friends, because this paper is fantastic for Brother Scan and Cut users. All right, so what I've done is I've put the candy canes on the mat. Okay, I'm going to load the mat. I'm going to hold one hand here. This is just to keep my mat steady, and I'll show you the load mat button when I pull this closer. Okay, so here we have CM350, and there is a glare. Sunny day, something like that, we'll do that. Just a different angle. So here is the load mat button. That was one I used for loading the mat. So now let's get right to it. So when you turn on your machine, you're going to see pattern and scan. So we're selecting scan. We want to directly cut out these candy canes. So we're going to select direct cut. This is just asking where you want to temporarily store the information. So I want to store it on my machine. Now here's where it's very important, because 99% of the time, and almost every video on YouTube, I always say, never use color recognition mode. Well, here is an exception. Let's go here for a moment. When I tried to use black and white recognition mode on this paper, and I'm talking about, like, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6, maybe more, maybe 12 or 13 if you count how many of each sheet I've done. It never worked in black and white recognition mode, not for any of the sheets I've tried. So in this particular pack of paper, the Night Before Christmas Designer Series paper, I am recommending color recognition mode. Okay, this samples more colors around. Instead of just sampling the grayscale colors, it's sampling the colors themselves, and it sets them apart from the background. It really worked well, and I was surprised, actually. I was surprised I needed to use it, and that's why I like to share these tips and tricks as I discover things. Anyway, then you just say start, and it's going to scan in the candy canes. It's going to scan in the entire sheet, but we don't want to cut out all those candy canes. Let me get what I'm talking about here. See, you could cut out a load of these. I've already cut out a sheet. Just in the interest of saving time for this tutorial, we're not going to cut out this many candy canes. I'm going to frame a part of the image and cut out just a few candy canes. So that you get the idea. And I guess you would have a stylus normally. I don't know, maybe it rolled on the floor. So I'm just using my little spatula, but you would have a stylus, the little white stylus that came with your machine. So what you do next is you frame the image. Let's just frame here. Let's just frame somewhere here in the middle. And you can cut out all the candy canes at once. I do recommend that. When you do this, don't just cut out a few, cut out the whole sheet. Here, let me move that over because I don't want to waste, I don't want to waste too much paper. Okay, let's just put it right there. So now I'm going to show you how to do a couple more things. You say okay, and now it just is looking in the one area. And now we want to talk about this. So color threshold means this is the number of colors that get sampled. So you can go up and down with this. Only if 5 doesn't work, start messing. 5 is the default. Whenever you look at settings in your Scan and Cut, whenever you see a square, like this black square around the number 5, that means it's your default setting. You won't see the black square if you change the settings. So if you go up or down, see, the black square goes away. I just leave it at 5. If 5 doesn't work, then I go up, meaning I sample more colors, but I don't need to. So next I want to show you ignoring object size. So I didn't do this the first time I cut because I thought it was kind of cool to get the small candy canes. Like I didn't want to really ignore object size because I thought this one could be like a little peppermint stick even though it got cut off. Maybe I could put that in the raccoon's hand. Like maybe the raccoon, meaning, don't mind me, I'm kind of weird. I like all these little animal stamp sets, but there's a moose stamp set. And in the Merry Moose, there's a raccoon, and I thought he could be holding a little candy stick. So anyway, I let all these small objects stay, but I'm going to show you how to get rid of them. So let's just get rid of, you can get rid of small objects. Okay, ignore object size. I'm ignoring up to about 1/4 inch to get rid of some smaller pieces. That's a little over 1/4 inch, see? Or that, there you go, 0.28 is fine. That's one way to get rid of objects. Now let's just go say okay, and I'll show you another way of getting rid of objects. But first, in the CM350, we can go ahead and set the outline distance here. So this is where you set the outline distance. Why? If you don't put a border around your candy canes, that's fine, it'll cut along the line. But I just think these are on a pretty peacock background. And I just think they look really good with borders, and I like to put borders around almost everything. I get asked all the time, do I have to put borders or outline distance? No. Let me grab one so you can see what I mean and why I put them. It's not even that big of an outline distance. It's just a little tiny bit. See, I like to put them, I'll put that on the, because I think it gives it a nice frame around the image. So I'm going to say outline distance 0.04. Now we say okay. And then it's just saying the pattern's outside of the effective area, meaning I went really close to the right of the mat. Always ignore that message. It doesn't really mean anything. It just means it won't cut to the very right of my mat. You can't cut too close to the edge, but it doesn't matter because those weren't really full candy canes anyway. And I did want to show you how to get rid of all these little bits anyway. So the first way to get rid of bits, the first way to get rid of unwanted things that you don't want to cut is by using ignore object size. The second way is using edit. So you go into the edit mode by clicking on this little shapes button. Now, the trash can is how you get rid of what you don't want. So we're not going to cut out these partial candy canes in the interest of saving time. We're going to trash them. And I'm just hitting the trash button each time one gets selected. Now there's a full candy cane. Of course, we don't want to trash that one. That's a full one. We want to trash this one. Well, here, let's just go back. We want to toggle. Here's how to toggle between your selected areas. So this is a selection arrows. So as you hit this, it'll toggle between everything on your screen that's going to cut. And anything you don't want to cut, you just delete it. And so if ignore object size didn't work, that's when you move on to plan B with deleting them manually. Now we're ready to, we have our outline distance. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, so we have 6 ready to cut. And now we're ready to cut. But in the CM350, you have to tell your machine what your blade depth is. You don't have to do this with like with my SDX model. Again, this is why I'm doing this tutorial separately, because there are things different about this machine, that are not the same as using just the auto blade technology. So when you want to set your blade depth, you turn this is the standard. Let me put down my little spatula. You want to turn it all the way to 12, and then you want to turn it back to 3. So when you have Designer Series paper by Stampin' Up, I use a blade depth of 3 with a standard blade holder. That's the blue holder. Okay, so blade depth of 3. Stick that in the blade holder and just say, and I'm just going to go ahead and say cut. It's not going to take very long. I'm going to grab my catalog while it's doing this. I'm going to push the machine way far away because it's very noisy. And we'll bring it back in just 1 minute is all it will take. So one disadvantage of the CM350, it actually, by the way, I get asked this all the time. I get asked, what is your favorite ScanNCut machine, or which one do you recommend? I still actually recommend the CM350. It does a way better job of cutting stamped images, in my opinion, and I actually like it better. Okay, that's my opinion. So, oh good, it stopped cutting. I'll get back to that in a minute. Just want to show you this, and then we'll get to the finish the lesson. All right, so what I'm using is the Night Before Christmas Suite. That's how I made my example. See, there's that candy cane paper we're cutting out. And it makes a great background too. In fact, everything I'm doing, you could do, I mean, if you like making cards and you don't want to make all these things for the ScanNCut, and you watch my tutorials, I hope you get other ideas on just how to use the Designer Series paper, because the Designer Series paper is awesome. Here's a sheet that I've already used all 4 of, but that was one of the sheets that comes in the Designer Series paper stack. And then we have a Memories and More card pack. That's this one. I'll have links to my materials, and then if you want to purchase them from my store, as long as you're in the US, anywhere in the United States, Hawaii, Alaska, the continental US, I can have customers anywhere in the US. I mean, I can't have them overseas. That's not our license. But there are demonstrators in other countries, so find a demonstrator if you're in another country and get this stuff, because you can only buy it from demonstrators, and it's awesome. Night Before Christmas, Memories and More card pack. Night Before Christmas, Designer Series paper. Those are the things I bought from this suite. I didn't even get the stamp set or the dies or the ribbon, but I'm having so much fun with just these 3 things. 1, 2, 3. Because I practically want to buy the whole catalog. I'm not saying I won't buy them. Give me time. I'm just saying I'm pacing myself. So let's just talk about this paper. Here you go. Here's the paper. I told you there are 24 designs, and I couldn't show them all to you because I've already cut the paper into smithereens, half of it, some of it. And then there's the cool stamp set. All right, so now, oh, and by the way, this one, Merry Moose. Check out Merry Moose, because you see the scarf from this Merry Moose stamp set. In my examples, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe, but in my examples, I always show you my projects, and I actually used this little scarf. The little scarf from Merry Moose in one of my projects for today. All right, so now I can get rid of my catalog and make room. All right, so here we go. We're gonna finish the lesson. We have, it's gonna say, finish cutting, and we say, okay. And then we unload the mat. That's this button here. Okay, and now we get this, and good. I'm just making sure it worked. Sometimes I should check, you should check, like, before you remove your mat. Like, I kind of just did. Like, I hope they cut out, you know. I am videotaping this, by the way. But they did cut out. And so basically, if they didn't cut out, like, say you used the wrong blade depth, then at that point, as long as the mat had stayed in the machine, you could have changed the blade depth and cut them again. But now that I removed the machine, you cannot do that, because it'll never be in the same place when you load it again. The paper's never in the same place twice, unless you leave the mat right where it's at. Okay, so to remove these candy canes from the mat, first take your Designer Series paper off. Then take your handy dandy spatula that came with the ScanNCut. Now you can bend your mat a little bit, and that will help you help you sort of get these off the mat. Okay, see? That helps me get my spatula under there. And I go like that, and that. All right, cool. And almost done. And I want you to notice a couple things, and I'm going to put some paper here for contrast. So let me get a piece of old olive. And I want to show you that when you get all these embellishments, it's awesome because the candy canes go both ways, which helps you use them in designs. See, they balance out because they face both directions. All right, so here's what I did earlier. And see what the good success rate is on a page of scan pattern paper like this. And then in this pattern paper is the one we just did. Okay, so we did a great job too. And we have an outline distance of 0.04. That's all going to be in the description of the video. All right, here we go. So before I show you my projects, I need to talk about coordinating colors so you understand how I came up with these design decisions I came up with. Now, so the Night Before Christmas Designer Series paper. On the back of the Designer Series paper, I always open it up and it says Cherry Cobbler, Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Early Espresso, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Old Olive, Poppy Parade, Pretty Peacock, there we go, Pretty Peacock, and Very Vanilla. So immediately I just go through my stash and I say, oh, well, what kind of stuff do I have in my stash? This is Old Olive cardstock. This is Pretty Peacock. I'm just showing you a plain card. Pretty Peacock. And I just go and I get things out of my stash. Okay, and that's how I come up with my designs. I just make sure I'm using coordinating colors. I go through my blends and I go through everything. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a couple things about this paper, and then I'll show you my projects. So a couple things about this paper is that the one thing is that I had to use color recognition mode for all of these cutouts. Okay, and here I cut out a page of stockings. Okay, and they have a little bit of, here, let's put this on there. A little bit of an old olive border. Okay, color recognition mode. I cut out page of Santa hats. That was yesterday's video. If you haven't seen it, even if you don't have the SDX 125, please check out that video. All different papers, all different projects I showed. I don't repeat myself in my videos, hopefully not too much. And then I cut out, so yesterday I cut out the Santa hats and the presents. And then since then I've cut out candy canes, Christmas trees, the little letters to Santa, and the candy canes, which you just saw. What else? Yeah, these 4. So yesterday I cut out these 2, and then since then I cut out 4 more sheets. So my next workshop, I just let my peeps, I say, here, have at it. I just give them a sample example, like this card here. This is the first example I'll show you, and boom, they're done. Okay, here's an example. They're done. I just give them some cards and this blank card, and you'll see what I mean by they're done. It's so easy to make this card. It took me all of 2 minutes to make the card. Why? Because I'm using these really simple materials, and I love when I bring these to workshops. So with the night before Christmas, there is in this suite, I mentioned these are the Memories and More note cards and envelopes. Look at these really cool, strong envelopes. They're very vanilla. Look how strong. Well, you can't really see how strong. Trust me, they're strong envelopes. Okay, the cards. They comes with cherry cobbler cards, already pre-scored for you. Boom, you have a card. Someone said, "Are you watching The Sopranos?" One of my friends asked me yesterday if I was watching Sopranos because I said, "Bada bing, make a card. Bada boom." See, there you go. So you have an instant card. Then I took the Memories. So that's all there was in this pack. So I used this product, and I'll link to it. So it's a Memories and More card pack. Then you take these things, and for my other examples, I use these. Okay, I'm going to show you. These are called the Memories and More note cards. Memories and More cards. Yeah, Memories and More. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I saved it. Memories and More Night Before Christmas Memories and More card pack. So the card pack comes with loads of stuff. And I just tried not to repeat the designs to show you all these cute little things. Here you go. Here's the warmest wishes. So how I made this card, take the blank card, and I didn't do anything to the inside. It's already done. I took my little corner rounder. This is called Detailed Trio Punch. It's in our annual catalog. You don't even need to do this, by the way. I just thought it looked cool using the corner rounder. You see, because the stars behind there seem to have a curve around them. So I thought, I need a corner rounder. And I stick it in there, and I went like this. I don't want anything to be a mystery in my examples. That's why I like to just show you what I did. Okay, boom, boom. Then I popped that up with some dimensionals, and I like to do things in 3s. I took 3 stockings, stuck one there with glue, stuck one over here, and stuck one up there. And I like to do things in 3s. And then I stuck 3 little candy canes, go in different directions. That's what I was talking about. It's cool to have them go in different directions. See, took 3 of those. You could add Wink of Stella. You could add there. And that was an instant card. It took me all of 2 minutes. I used glue. I used dimensionals for the middle part, meaning I popped this up a little, and then I used glue for everything else. In fact, the glue's not even dry yet. Don't mind me. I have to get the little bit of glue off there. Sometimes I see things and want to fix them. Okay, but anyway, I'll fix it later. Sometimes it's better to fix things like that with an eraser. But that's it. When you have designer series paper and a ScanNCut, you have all these instant embellishments. But that's not all. You can take things one step further. Yesterday I showed you how to make cow cards. And today I'm going to show you what I did with this little piggy stamp set and this Night Before Christmas paper. Okay, so first the cow cards, and I'll end with this little piggy. The cow cards are just a review of what I showed in yesterday's video. These were very popular, and then people started saying, what about the little piggies? So for this one, we cut out the presents and the hats yesterday, and I used Memories and More note cards. That was from the white. They were Whisper White. And then I did this cow card, and this was a pretty peacock card base. There's one of those backgrounds from the night before Christmas. See, pretty peacock card base. Some cows wearing Santa hats. And then I did some cows and presents, all ScanNCut. Okay, I've done other tutorials. This was called Over the Moon stamp set. And I've done other tutorials on how to cut out the cows with the ScanNCut. If you want to know how to cut out the piggies with the ScanNCut, I've done several tutorials. One will be called This Little Piggy Loves the ScanNCut. Then I did another tutorial called This Little Piggy Still Loves the ScanNCut. Then I did another tutorial on making mask. Okay, so I'm going to show you the mask before I show you these projects, because I don't want you to ever go, how did she do something? I want you to be able to repeat what I'm showing you. So you have a mask. I'm not going to make a mask right now. There's tutorials on how to make a mask. But what I mean is I made out of Mylar mask for my little piggies. Okay, so then when I stamp my little piggies, let me just grab some piggies. And I put them down. Here, let's just get a piggy. Here are some piggies. And this time I'm using petal pink, but I've used other colors. Here, stick a piggy. I stick them back there. But the mask is only for everything but the outline distance. So I'm able to color him in, and I sponge color. Okay, I hope you can see that. The mask protects the background while letting me color the piggy. So there's one example. And then for the mask that I made with the piggy that flies, the flying piggy, I even made a mask for his little wings. So when I color the piggy, his wings don't get colored. Okay, and then I wanted the piggy to be holding a candy cane. So even though I cut him out with the flower, here's another example of my mask. I cut this out in Mylar. I show how to do this on YouTube. In fact, recently I just showed how to make a mask with the moose stamp set. Anyway, then I sponge color. I put some ink on my little stamping block using petal pink, and I colored my little piggies. And I sponge colored them so that only the inside is colored all evenly. And if I need any little bits extra, I just sort of use my blends. These are petal pink blends. Okay, so that's how I got my piggies colored. And then I use Wink of Stella, which is a glitter pen for the wings. So let me show you the first little piggy card. Let me find something to put it behind. Here we go. Now, first little piggy card. What I did for this is the letter to Santa. In this Memories and More card pack, Memories and More card pack with all these really, really super cool designs. Okay, there are so many designs in here. There are stickers. Finding the sticker. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of stickers. Do I love stickers that coordinate with my Stampin' Up! Products? Like, I mean, this sticker is in Crushed Curry, Mossy Meadow, Poppy Parade. I mean, I have stickers that match my cardstock. How cool is that? So what I did is it says, Santa, please stop here. That's what the sticker said. Here's one. Santa, please stop here. So these letters to Santa, I put the little flying piggy delivering the letter to Santa. Okay, that's the example. And there's the little scarf I made with the moose. Merry Moose stamp set. And there's the Wink of Stella I put on the wings. I protected the piggy. And I used some little star stickers. Okay, and now we'll show you something I did with the candy canes we just cut out. Everything I'm showing you would not be possible without the ScanNCut. I cut out the piggies with the ScanNCut. I cut out the embellishments with the ScanNCut. And then, of course, this is a sticker. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Instant there. I was trying to put that onto the Night of Navy background, but you couldn't really see the pretty peacock. So then I put it on a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock. Not cardstock, just one of the pieces of designer series paper. 3 candy canes. I didn't do 3 presents, but I did 2 hats. Okay, and a present. Okay, and that's a background image. And my last one is my favorite of the little piggy designs. And it is the 4th example I'm showing you now, because I've showed you what this example was. 1, 2, 3. Here it is. 4th example. I'm using a cherry cobbler card. In fact, I like to show this. When I show this example, I like to put it in the envelope. Put it in front of the envelope it's going to go in. See? So I'm giving someone that envelope too. There you go. Now this little piggy card has 3 of the 4 little piggies in this stamp set. 3 little presents. These 2 are glued to the background, the piece of designer series paper. This one is popped up with a dimensional, this little present. These little hats are glued right onto the piggies, and they fit perfectly, and you get 4 sheets of these hats, like in the designer series paper. So imagine all the things you can do. Poppy Parade and Cherry Cobbler, I mean, they match. They match. Even last year we had Poppy Parade inside Santa's workshop designer series paper, and that, so you can even go back and use some hats on some of those projects. Okay, what else did I use? The candy cane is in his hand, and this one I just took it and I cut a little hole there so he would look like he's carrying the present, delivering the present. So here he's delivering, the flying pig is delivering the letter to Santa with the letter to Santa background, and here he's delivering a present to his little pals. And I like the night scene because he looks like he's flying in the sky. I want to get a whole other pack of paper just to have 4 more of these backgrounds. I love having instant backgrounds. Well, of course, I would like it for other reasons, but you know what I mean. All right, well, thank you for watching. This is The Papered Chef, and if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. And I just want to give you a little heads up that very soon I'm releasing a new course called Card Making Using the Brother ScanNCut. I hope to be releasing the course this week, and it's going to use Canvas Workspace. And it's not based on any one model of the machine. It's based on, you can use any model of the machine for my course. So thank you. Bye for now.